Alright, now Fitness Zone was the first commercial gym I had ever gone to, and this was approximately 1 year after I started training. Before that, I trained at my high school, which was St. Paul High, and at the time, this was my favorite place to be. It was my home. My father actually trained with me almost every single day, and it was great because at the time I really didn't spend much time with my father, and this was something we had in common. And the gym was really old school. What I mean by that is the iron plates. It was in a basement, just a little bit run down, whatever. But I liked that, you know. It was a really hardcore environment. At the time, these guys were the biggest guys I'd seen in my entire life, the strongest guys. These guys were just absolutely insane. They took it to a whole new level that I had never seen before. And because of that, I wanted to be just like these guys. Never did I think I could attain what these guys were doing on a daily basis, which was great. And because of that, that kind of catalyzed my career of bodybuilding because it really pushed me to the next level. It showed me that you had to be hardcore. It was all in or you're out. It was just as simple as that. And I love that. We really fed off each other in that environment, and we pushed each other to crush everything and do everything we set out to do. And with the support they had, we just fed off each other. We did everything we had to do, and you know, we killed it. The main thing I'm trying to get across is that it was a family. We had guys, you know, inviting each other over for dinner, barbecues, you know, this guy's doing a competition soon, or that guy's doing a competition soon. You know, we'd all be there. Everyone would go up to watch him, stuff like that. Everything you really needed. And, you know, people say all the time, you know, camaraderie, it's gone or whatever, but that's exactly how it was, you know, the old school. Everyone had each other's back, you know. I remember even like when bar fights would go down, we would be getting calls from our buddies from the gym and stuff, and we would all be there, and just, you know, everything was right. It was exactly how I wanted things to be. Now, fast forward a couple years. This is my now 6th year of training, and what was back then the golden days, the days of our lives, whatever you want to call it, completely turned around. Let me just summarize my daily routine going to a Fitness Zone. Immediately walking down the stairs, you're greeted by a couple signs, you know. No, I'll pay you tomorrow bullshit. In the washrooms, you know. If you're gonna stand to piss, use the fucking urinal. It says fuck, by the way. And they introduce a new reactivation fee. So if you let your membership expire, you have to pay an extra $5 for whatever to reactivate your fee, you know. And a lot of people complain about this, you know. A lot of my buddies work out west. They'd have their gym membership expire. They'd come back and have to pay that reactivation fee. And that was never around. It's the same system that he had, whatever, years ago. And, you know, just I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm going to tell you guys a couple stories. These are stories that I haven't even really shared with my friends. So, story number 1. This was about when I was, I'd say 16 years old. My gym membership had expired, and it was a day old at the time. And during my set, one of the owners came up to me and he said, hey Dan, just wanted to let you know that your membership has expired, you know. And I'm being nice when he said it like that, because to be honest, he ran up to me, he yelled in my face, and he said, your gym membership's expired. He goes, Dan, you know, I know we're friends or whatever, but he said, this is bullshit. He goes, you're gonna have to leave. And at the time, it was the dead of winter, and I remember having to walk home in shorts and a tank top, and I remember people looking at me, even a couple people commenting on the fact that I was walking home in a tank top, like it was my choice. That's where I'd say it was the turning point of my relationship with that gym. Story number 2 is when I had just competed about a year ago, and one of the gym owners actually had given me $40 to put towards my tan, which to anyone, that's a great gesture, obviously, and I still thank him, whatever, for that. And after my competition, I had given him $60. I gave him an extra 20, you know, thank you for the investment, whatever. I wanted to show my gratitude for his support, so I gave him a little extra money. About a week ago, or about a week after that, I had been shown text messages of him talking behind my back, talking smack, this and that, and I couldn't believe it really. And you know, I was more hurt than anything because these are the guys I had looked up to. These are the guys who had supported me. He actually gave me money to put towards my competition, and then for him to say something like that was just absolutely ridiculous. Probably the most comical part about the entire gym is the shrine when you walk in. Immediately when you walk through the door on the right, there's a bunch of pictures of both the owners, which consumes the majority of the pictures on the wall, and the rest are a bunch of the other girls who had like gotten deals, whatever, from magazines, taking a couple pictures. Other guys are the ones who have competed and stuff like that. And at the time, even after I competed, they asked me, they said, Dan, send us your best picture and we'll put it up on the wall. And at the time, that was probably the last thing I wanted to do, was put my picture up on that. And I've told people 100 times, I will never support this gym. If anyone ever asks me what gym I went to when I was young, I will never give this gym any credit for any of that. One time while I was posing, he had actually told me to put my shirt on, and he made some comment that it's not a gay bar or something like that. And I don't want to make this video to sound like a hater or whatever. I'm making this video because I don't want anyone to ever be treated the way I was treated at that gym. I went to the gym as a young kid, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. And thinking about back then, if someone had been treated the way I was treated at a gym, it would maybe discourage them from ever wanting to go to the gym. So that's why I just want to protect those who are getting into this lifestyle, who are already into this lifestyle, that you can't have people treating you this way. And that's exactly why I do not support Fitness Zone. And a couple of minor things that really made me hate the gym. I remember one time I was curling against one of the mirrors, and whatever, just so I didn't cheat or whatever. And again, owner came up to me, goes, if you break that glass, you're gonna have to buy it. Like, whatever, man. Like, why does that even need to be said? Another time, I threw up, I think, 100-pound dumbbells on a flat bench, and I had posted the video up on Facebook. And instead of like a congratulations, not that I expect any comments or whatever, compliments or anything, but even that, instead of complimenting me or whatever, he just said, don't drop the weights. Maybe next time a spotter and not a cameraman. Just a direct insult, just unnecessary jabs like that. One of the funniest stories I had ever heard was a couple co-op students, and what those are is, they pick a local business and they get to help them out, gain some, real world experience. So these co-op students worked for, Fitness Zone. And the funniest story was when they had come back one day and they told me that the owner had brought them over to his house and they painted his fucking fence. He made them paint his fucking fence. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Basically slave labor for a couple of high school kids. And just a little talk about marketing. First of all, LA Fitness, which is a huge commercial gym, had just moved into the city. It's $40 a month. Fitness Zone's the exact same price. Now with LA, you're getting a sauna, you're getting a basketball court, you're getting no bullshit. First of all, that's the biggest thing. And just that is enough. And then you can even go even cheaper. Good Life, $10 a month. Now, I'm not trying to promote these other businesses, but I'm just saying, like, what kind of marketing was that? At the time when LA had just come into the city, instead of reducing his prices, instead of giving his loyal customers a break, he actually upped his prices. It was even more expensive than LA at the time. And all his loyal members had left, and some of the golden era guys that I had talked about earlier had left, and they didn't even bat an eye. And I mean, I'm not surprised, because they were treated awful, just terrible. But that's why I'm making this video. And I might catch a lot of hatred for this, but I don't care. People say it's a family-owned business or whatever, but you can't sell disrespect. You can't sell the garbage they promote there. And that's exactly why I'm making this video, because I don't want anyone to ever be treated that way, and I don't want people to get ripped off. Simple as that. I live the lifestyle every single day, and for these people to make a mockery of what I do is just unacceptable. This is exactly why I'm making this video, and I want everyone to see it.